It's time to talk all things Jets with one of my favorite gosh darn players on the team. It's been a while since we've had him on the show, but we've got a lot to get into. Let's roll, baby. Zoinks! It is unequivocally the Super Bowl for New York Jet fans. Field Yates, baby. Field gosh darn Yates. Let's bring him on the show. Come on, people. Connor Rodgers is joining the show. What's up, Connor? But Trevor gosh darn Sycamore, baby. For me, personally, my favorite New York Jet of all time.
Wow, it's great to be on. What an intro that was right there.
Paul, nobody does an intro like you, man.
Paul, you give the best intro of literally any podcast that I've ever been.
I'm gonna lose my gosh darn bananas. You damn right I do, baby. Hey, everybody, I'm Paul Esden Jr., a.k.a. Boy Green. I'm the New York Jets digital reporter for Heavy.com. Make sure you guys like the video, hit subscribe down below, and it's time to get to my guest. I freaking love this guy, and we're bringing him on the show for the first time in a while, and it's great. He's had a busy offseason. Let's get into it. Tyler gosh darn Conklin, baby. What's up, Tyler?
What's up, man? Appreciate you having me. It's good to be back.
Of course. Well, let me tell you, I mean, you know better than anybody. You've been on a media tour this week, but man, a busy off season. Put a ring on it. You got some moving going on, man. Have you gotten a chance to breathe?
A little bit. It has been pretty crazy. That's why it took so long to get back on here, but it's been fun though.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Well, congratulations, of course, on all the wonderful success. I do want to get into this one weirdly first because I saw you mention it in another interview. You know, Robert Saleh says, "Hey, baby, I'm just going to cancel the mandatory minicamp. Let's just book it because we'll be coming a week early for camp." And oh man, the people in the streets are losing their gosh darn minds. Tyler, what's your message to those people that were freaking out all over the place? I know you saw some of that action.
No, I just think people like blowing stuff up, but I think it was not just nice of him, but we're happy he did it because another 10 days out of the training camp, so to be able to give us an extra 5 back, I think that goes a long ways for people getting that little bit of a reset that they need heading into training camp in the season, along with people kind of being able to go back home and do whatever they specifically like to train on, whether it's specific position coaches or weight strength coaches or whatnot. So everybody kind of has their own thing, and I think it allowed people to go back and give them the time they needed to lock into the things that they thought they needed to lock into personally, along with getting a little bit of that downtime before the season kicks off.
Absolutely. And Saleh, when he did an interview with Albert Breer, he explained there's some level of sports science, certain time off to, from your practice and work to time off to getting back into it, that there is kind of a science to it that should hopefully keep a lot more of you guys healthy. Do you know anything about that? Is there anything to that that you know of in terms of some of that sports medicine science that tries to keep you healthy in these longer seasons now with 17 games in the regular season?
Yeah, I'm sure there's a bunch of science behind it. I don't know what the hell the science is. I just do what I'm told and, try to prepare the best I can. But they definitely have a good plan in place for us whenever we're at the facility and whenever we do have downtime. So, I think whatever that science is, it's going to help us.
Well, let me ask you, Tyler. There's been a lot of hubbub on social media that the Jets are ultimately going to get Hard Knocks. We've heard Saleh talk about it, some of the players talk about it. What about you? Hard Knocks, cameras, the attention, and all that jazz. Is that something you're for? Is it something you're against? Where do you stand in all this?
Yeah, I'm when it comes to stuff like that, for me, I just kind of deal with whatever happens. You just just handle it. Whether it could be cool, it could be a pain in the butt. Who knows? But control what you can control, and we'll make the best out of it and see what happens. I've never really watched Hard Knocks too much, so I don't really know too much about it.
Okay.
So if we get it, and we'll have fun doing it, and it's not going to affect us. And if we don't get it, then I'm sure we'll be happy. We don't have people following us around the facility all day, and we'll be happy about that too. So either way, we'll be all right.
Has it been a conversation at all, whether players talking about it? Because, again, it's been rumored, or Saleh saying it in a team meeting or something, addressing the possibility. Has that all been a conversation this offseason?
No, not really. Honestly, the only places I've really heard about it is whenever I go on Twitter. So, between players or between, Coach Solid and the coaches, no one's really ever, talked about it. But every time, especially over the past week, you go on Twitter and there's madness. But I've come to realize that's just a little bit of the New York media.
I think you're right about that, Tyler. So how do you compare? You were for 4 years in Minnesota. You come over here. You just completed your first year with the Jets. How do you compare? Just kind of obviously a smaller sample size here with the Jets and what you had in Minnesota, but how do you compare the two experiences so far of media, you getting to do your thing? What do you make of it?
Yeah, it's been interesting, right? I had to kind of wait my turn in Minnesota and kind of feel it out and figure it out, along with just figuring out what it was to be in the NFL and be a professional. So that actually had different, ups and downs. And then you get here, and you're always going to have your ups and downs. But it's been awesome. Coming into it, me and my wife were excited to just live on the East Coast for a little bit, and we've never been out here, so it's been cool. The bagel sandwiches, the pizza, which I still don't get too much of the hype about the pizza yet. I must not have had the right pizza spot yet. But I do love the bagel sandwiches. But getting to the city, we were just down in the city, doing a whole bunch of media stuff. I brought the in-laws out there. We went to a Yankees game. They're huge baseball fans. That's Pat.
Okay. Yeah.
And
yeah.
we went around, had dinner at a couple of different places, and so being able to explore and enjoy New York City's been awesome. East Coast's been awesome. Fans, awesome. So it's been fun.
What do you do in your free time when you're not doing football stuff?
Oh, it's hard to get me out of the house. That's why it was kind of cool to go out there right now while we got some downtime, because once the season starts and I get kind of locked into my routine, it's she wants to go do stuff, go to dinner, go to the city, and I'm like, I gotta be up early. So I got 2 dogs, so we do a lot with the dogs, whether it's just finding places to go on little hikes and whatnot. We like to eat, so whether it's just down the city, we'll go to Morristown or wherever we can keep trying new places. And I haven't played video games in a long time because of this hectic off season between weddings and everything that comes with that, bridal showers for her, houses, and just trying to get settled with life. So really just the wife and the dogs right now.
When you play video games, I know you haven't been able to dabble in a while. What is your video game of choice? What revs your engine, Mr. Tyler Conklin?
The last video game I played was probably Call of Duty.
Oh, okay. So Call of Duty guy. Do you dabble in the Madden or the 2K or any of that, or you do that for a living? Hey, let me just do something else when I'm not,
Yeah, I try to get a break from it when I get a chance. I had like a real short stint, like a couple years ago. A lot of my friends love 2K, so I tried, and it was just too much of a commitment. I was spending too much time.
Yes.
It was too much, and it was always a good way when I was playing. Just hang out with my friends from back home for a little bit. Shoot the shit. So.
Yeah. What about you mentioned you have 2 dogs. Dog names, breeds. What do you have? What do you got?
Laska and Luna. Laska's the boy. Luna is the girl. Laska is 5, and Luna just turned 4. Oh, Huskies.
And what kind of dogs are they?
Huskies.
Oh, okay. Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, yeah. The best kind of dog on the planet. Excellent. Excellent.
Exactly. Besides the shedding, but you can deal with it.
Yeah. Oh, well. Yeah. Yeah. That's you got to hire someone for that, Tyler, or maybe the wife is doing that sort of thing. I don't know how that works, but yes, 100%. I've had the shedding dogs earlier in life. Yeah. That's a real hassle. It's a whole shish kebab. That's but certainly worth it. So I will say, you mentioned in Minnesota you had to kind of wait your turn to ultimately get your op. Well, apparently you were biding your time well, because as soon as you come to the gosh darn Jets time, we even previewed this last year because obviously we spoke during the offseason before your year, and you were the most productive tight end in over 10 years. Dustin Keller, that's the guy we're drawing back on, former first rounder of the Jets from a different era ago. He was the last guy that was producing the kind of numbers you did, Tyler. So after the 2022 season was in the books, and you hear me say that stat to you, which is 100% true, what's your response to the season you just had? I mean, it's a career year.
Yeah, I mean, for me, like I've talked to a lot of people about, is you have no matter what you do in practice in this league, or when you're on a scout team or whatever it is, like you don't really get better in this league and become who you are until you get to play in games and, be thrown in the fire a little bit. So for me, I feel like I got that chance a little late, not getting to start until my last year in Minnesota, 4 years into my NFL career. And, so that was like my first experience of learning, okay, where do I stand in this league? How good do I really think I can be? How do I handle a whole, season as a starter, from keeping my body healthy and film study and all those things. And, after that first year in Minnesota, I felt it set me up to come to New York and really kind of truly become who I think I can become as a tight end in this league. And last year, there was ups and downs last year, right? As a team, as a player, that's just the way football is. And I think it's cool to hear this stuff. Since first tight end since Dustin Keller to have such and such numbers. I'm not going to be mad about that, but I do think that I got a lot more in me that I'm excited to kind of show the Jets fans here in this upcoming season and the rest of the time I have here.
Well, you said what you can be. Am I going to start going Travis Kelce, Mark Andrews, Tyler Conklin? Is that what we're talking about here? Like, what can you be if you are able to realize your full potential and everything you bring to the table?
Yeah, I think that's going to be part of the fun part of the surprise, right? And I'm not going to sit up here and guarantee anything or promise anything, or it's just like you're not going to do that with the season, right? You're going to go out there, you're going to work your butt off throughout camp, throughout the preseason, and then every single day, every single game, we're going to come out here and this is the season I want to put it all together as a blocking tight end, as a receiver, and kind of finally take that step I know I can take.
What are your goals? Do you write them down? Do you say, hey, I want to get insert catches, insert yards, insert touches? Do you have like some piece of meat that's kind of hanging in front of you that you want to try to, chase down this year?
Yeah, I've always been big on goal setting. A kind of a funny story. Back in college, I used to always goal set, right? Spring ball, camp during the season, whatever, such and such catches, such and such yards. You want to have no MAs, have such and such blocking grade, no drops, all these different things, right? And when I got in the league, I kind of got away from making all those goals. I think it was just me trying to figure out, how to survive in this league my first 2 years. And I go into my third year, and I finally feel like I figured out how my off season was supposed to go. I was kind of figuring it out a little bit, and I made goals. And I made I think my goals that year were like 20 plus catches, 200 plus yards, 2 plus touchdowns. And that year, Kyle Rudolph was still the number one. Irv Smith was on his second year after drafting him in the second round. And I was kind of tight end 3 again for my third year. And halfway through the season, I'm just like, I'm getting frustrated. I just want an opportunity to play because, next year's my contract year, and I want to be able to go and at least be able to do something somewhere. And so, I write these goals though, and I think I didn't get target till week 8 against the Chicago Bears on Monday night. I ran a little choice route, got like an 8-yard catch as my first target, first catch of the season, and that's because Irv Smith was down, and I was playing with Kyle Rudolph that game as a tight end too. And then Irv comes back, and I'm back to being tight end 3, not playing a lot for a couple games. And then the last 4 games of the season, Kyle Rudolph gets banged up, so it's me and Irv. So, I kind of get that chance for a little bit more of an extended period, and I end up finishing the year with like 119 catches, 190 yards, and 1 touchdown. So we were right there by those goals. And at the beginning of that season, it didn't look like we were going to be anywhere near those goals. Not a catch or a target until week 8. Not really much of an opportunity. And that's when I really kind of got back into it. Like, okay, this stuff really, speaking things into existence.
Yeah.
Manifesting these things really does, translate. And so every year I tell that story because every year, I get to the drawing board, I make my goals, and they're going to be some big goals this year, but we're going to reach them. Can
you speak those into existence right here on the show, my man?
I went through a couple drafts already. I sat down, I wrote this, wrote that. Like, I know some of those, tight end records that, are standing there. I think it's like 9 touchdowns in a season. It might be the Jets tight end record right now, or 850 yards or something. I know those numbers are up there. I know those records, but we're not going to sit there and focus on that. But I went through some drafts, and I'm going to, sit down heading to camp and make sure, we got some good goals that are attainable as a player, and then we'll have some team goals on there too. So.
What does that process look like? So you said a couple of drafts. So do you shoot for the stars first and then work your way down, or do you shoot low and say, "Oh, come on, I'm Tyler Conklin, baby," boop, 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 boop. And do they start getting up? How does that process work for you?
I don't know. I just in the offseason, I might just be sitting around one day. Who knows what I'm doing? Watching film or just got done with the workout or whatever I'm doing. And just thinking about it and writing stuff down. But eventually before the season, I'll sit down and make it, try to make my handwriting all pretty and sit down and, put an official, okay, this is what we're going to get done this year, and, put it somewhere where I can see it when I need to see it.
has it hit you that, like, Aaron Rodgers is here, so obviously that's good news for the team and everything, but personally for you, I mean, your opportunities and quality opportunities with a guy with a proven resume like Rodgers, I mean, that's good for the Conklin brand, baby. I'm not officially a part of your team, but I feel like I'm unofficially a part of the Conklin brand. We're trying to pump you up as much as possible. We're trying to get you the dollar bills, the sponsorships. I mean, we're trying to make some magic happen, baby. So has it hit you that, like, oh, Aaron Rodgers all of a sudden stock up for Mr. Tyler Conklin?
I do appreciate all the love I do get from you. Yeah, it was kind of surreal if we went through that whole, theatrics of like, is it happening? Is it not happening? You got everybody in the world asking your parents, family. So that was, when it was official and he signed and whatnot, like I was happy that part was over and we knew what we were getting ourselves into and we could truly be excited about it. I've said it a couple of times, growing up, I was a Green Bay fan. I'm from Michigan. My dad was a Bears fan though. And my older cousin, he was a Packers fan. I think it was just to kind of piss our dads off because they were all Bears fans. So I kind of just like jumped on that bandwagon with my cousin to make the dads mad. And I, from a young age, I was a Green Bay fan. Kind of probably started around like the Brett Favre, Vermont Green, Donald Driver years. And, so I was always excited about that. I was watching 2010 Super Bowl when they beat the Steelers. I was one of my best friends and he's a huge Steelers fan. So that was good. So when he got here, that was obviously really cool. The first thing for me was like, okay, I want to go out here and, try to understand him the best as possible, be the best I can. Because when you play at the Hall of Famer like that, I think the number one thing is you want to be the best you, right? He's going to make everybody around him better, but you want to be, I want to play with him when we're done playing together for him to be like, that was one of the best tight ends I played with in my career. That's I think that's probably a lot of us on, the offensive ball are thinking. You want to play well and prove stuff to a guy of that caliber that's going to be a Hall of Famer and has a Super Bowl ring and whatnot. So, it does kind of seem surreal, but it's also, he's so down to earth and, just easy to be around that it also kind of takes that away.
So the trade finally happens, right? There's been, you mentioned the theatrics, the drama all offseason. Will it happen? Won't it happen? So when it actually happens, is it just kind of relief? Like for fans, there was a lot of excitement, but I imagine the players are like, oh, thank God this is over. Now it's official. Now we can kind of move on with the rest of our lives. Was it more relief than excitement or was some mix of both maybe?
I honestly stayed out of it. Besides when you just have random people always asking you. People are asking, like, I don't know. I know just as much as you do. Like I'm not. I don't know what the hell's actually going on. So, I was happy it was over. So like I could stop having random people always ask me whether it's in-laws or, family. So, whatever. Like, is he coming? Is he coming? I don't know. Well, I hope so. So when he did sign, I was happy that everybody had the answer so they could stop asking me. And then I was excited just to get to work.
Yeah. So let me ask you, when Aaron Rodgers happens, I'm not sure how this happens with players. Do you like just ask like a PR guy on the team to get his number so you can reach out to him and try to, chat with him or talk to him before you guys have any practices or anything like that? Did you try to reach out? Have you said anything? What have your interactions been like with Rodgers one-on-one?
Yeah, I didn't reach out. Actually, Kirk Cousins reached out to me when like all the, the news was going on. He was like, hey man, like you need to, get out there and get on the same page as Aaron, whether it's like going and throwing with him or whatever it is, like this is going to be huge for your career. And, he didn't have his number. So I think I asked Adam Thielen and Thielen said he had a different number or something. So I didn't end up reaching out. I figured his offseason's crazy enough. Like when he came to the building that I would see him and, as we got out there and played together, we built that relationship. I didn't feel like I needed to, text him, bug. I'm sure everybody in the world and tons of people were texting him. So I didn't think I needed to add to, people he felt like he needed to respond to or whatnot. So I didn't reach out, but it has been, awesome because you never know how someone of that caliber is going to be, right? And I think from day one he came in and we, a lot of us sit like a certain table for breakfast or lunch or whatever, and he sits at a certain table for the first day, and so the next day he comes to breakfast, and someone was like, "Yeah, come sit down." He's like, "Oh, I'm gonna go sit at a different table," and just like the way how fast he got to knowing everybody's name and making it making it known that he was trying to just be with kind of just become part of the team, and I think that goes a really long way, especially for a guy like that.
We're speaking with Tyler Conklin here, baby. New York Jets tight end one, baby, here on the program. It's fantastic. Tyler, let me ask you, what have you been dealing with? Because I got the binoculars out. I'm in the bushes trying to figure out where's Tyler Conklin on the field. You dealing from something from last year? What's going on?
Yeah, just stuff from last year, just a little nicked up at times. 17-game season can be a little long.
Yeah.
But I feel good. I'm 100% right now. I feel like I'm having the best offseason I've had, fastest I've been, strongest I've been. I think having that little bit of downtime from, those little things is going to end up paying off. Keeping a little wear and tear off the body for those couple months, and I really got to dive into some other things I wanted to get better at from a mental standpoint. So there was nothing serious. Just I'm 100% ready to go. So
that'd be nice. Yeah, I got a couple. I got like 2 or 3, but not quite. How many do you have, Tyler?
Too many.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can.
I don't even know if people who have a lot.
Like 150 hours worth.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And are they all different artists, or do you kind of like have a guy?
I've had 2 artists. So I've had one of them that's done kind of my arms, my legs, my chest, and I've had somebody else that did my back, and he'll probably do my stomach and my ribs eventually. So.
Oh, cool. Okay. Is there anything off limits, or hey, you will tattoo neck, anything like that?
Face is off limits.
Okay.
I probably won't do my neck. Probably just the back of my neck. I probably won't do. I mean, you can't see with the beard anyway.
Yeah, right. That's a good point. Yeah,
but,
that's true.
Really, the face is off limits. Neck, we'll see. We'll see where it goes.
Okay. All right. So open potentially for interpretation. We'll see. Hey, you mentioned that, some of the teammates that either reached out to you reached out to Kirk Cousins, Adam Thielen. Are there a bunch of Vikings teammates that you're like pretty, as much as an NFL player can be with your busy schedule, that you keep connected with, or they to you, or vice versa, or both of you trying to keep connected with some of those Vikings teammates? If so, who are those guys that you still stay in touch with pretty regularly?
Yeah, there are certain guys too I talk to here and there, and just kind of when it comes up or something. Brian O'Neill's one of them, Kyle Rudolph, Thielen here and there, Kirk here and there. There's a core group of guys that I kind of just when something comes up or something's going on in somebody's life that we talk to, and that's about it.
All right. Well, I noticed one. I think it was the other day on one of your interviews that Dalvin Cook. You said, I think it was Good Morning Football, that you reached out to him when this stuff was going on to see hey, is this like a real thing, or is this just some Twitter nonsense that we're normally dealing with? I don't think you gave the answer. What did Dalvin reply to that with?
Yeah, that was a smooth transition you just did right there. I like how you did that.
Appreciate that.
No, but yeah, like we said earlier, with the New York media, Twitter, and everything, who knows what's real and whatnot? You saw it blowing up, so I did reach out to him. I just asked him, is it true? Like, what's going on? Is it a possibility? And he kind of just said it's a possibility, just like you've heard. I think he's feeling it out. I don't know. He didn't really say too much. He didn't really exactly say that, but I think if it made sense for him, he would do it. But Delvin's an awesome guy. We kind of locker mates. His locker's right behind me, but one of the best biggest competitors I ever played with. So if it did happen, it'd be awesome. But I don't know too much. It was more of I check and then say hi and bye. So.
Okay. I don't know if there's a line. Maybe there is, because he's just a straight up free agent. It's not like we're talking a trade or something crazy here. Do you say, hey, what the hell? Aaron Rodgers recruiting people. Hey, I know Dalvin, locker mates, as Tom Pelissero said as well, that, hey, let me give him the pitch on why you should come to the Jets, or do you kind of stay out of that kind of stuff?
I kind of stay out of it. I just was just kind of curious, how it was going with all the media stuff going around. And, I talked real shortly, but I didn't, I think he knows what's going on. I don't think I need to pitch it, right? We got Aaron Rodgers. We got a good defense. We got a lot of pieces on offense. I don't need to explain it to him.
Okay. And hopefully not for any of those free agents who want to come on down to One Jets Drive, baby. There is plenty of room, as Mr. Tyler Conklin said on the old Good Morning Football. Yeah, amen, brother. And let me ask you said you were locker mates with Dalvin. What kind of, I guess, just a little bit more on him, because, hey, there's a chance he may end up here on One Jets Drive anyway. What was that relationship like? How is he? We only get to see him on the football field, scored touchdowns all over the gosh darn place, but we don't really know the man that he is. We don't get a lot of those opportunities.
Yeah, I wasn't really with Dalvin a lot outside of football, but in football, he was just always a really good guy. Whether you were a rookie or, a couple years in the league, kind of always treated everybody the same. He was just he loved football, so he always enjoyed being I practice at the facility, and on game day, there's not many people that compete the way he competes. So I just think, as a person on the football field and the way he is in the locker room, it's just, he's a great guy.
A couple more before we get you out of here. Tyler Conklin on the show. Tyler, the tight end room is friggin' deep. I mean, we got guys all over the friggin' place, and people are talking about how are they going to keep all these guys on the roster. And one guy I want to bring up is Jeremy Ruckert, who obviously was battling the plantar fasciitis last year. So, he had that pre-draft. It kind of dragged, so he didn't really get a chance to get his sea legs under him during the season. Is this guy going to be good? I mean, it's great on Hollywood paper. He's the super Jet fan, and we're all rooting for him and all this stuff, but we really haven't got to see him. So he basically didn't even have a rookie year last year. So what can you tell us about Jeremy Ruckert?
Yeah, he's going to be good. I like Jeremy a lot as a person. He's awesome. On the football field, I know he kind of reminds me of myself a little bit, like similar builds from a route running standpoint. I think he has the ability to be a complete tight end, and I feel like that's something that kind of gets missed nowadays, right? A lot of times you have a receiver or a blocker, and I think the cool thing about Jeremy is he's one of those guys that, he can play in the backfield and do a little fullback, and he loves to hit people, as we all saw in that Miami game. He can block in line, and he also is a really good route runner. Great hands. I think that he has the potential to be really good.
And I imagine you could probably give him a lot of advice because you mentioned that Vikings thing, waiting your turn at Ohio State. A big criticism, not of him, but like of Ohio State's offensive choices, is they didn't use him as a receiver. So it was kind of this untapped potential that maybe we could see in the NFL. As a guy that bided his time, it seems like you'd be the perfect role model for someone to look up to for Jeremy, hoping for a similar career trajectory.
Yeah, I think the route running, and he obviously didn't get the opportunity at Ohio State, but he has all those things, right? He runs good routes. It's not something that he's like raw at and needs to get better at. He already does it really well. He just didn't get that opportunity for whatever that reason was at Ohio State. Maybe having, I don't know, 6 first-round receivers, who knows, whatever.
Yeah, that'll help. Yeah,
but I do think, the last thing I think is that tight end, that you have to do so many things: pass protection, run game. Pass game, the fact that he can do all of them, but he's also a really smart football player. And I think, at tight end, it becomes, like we talked about earlier, you have an opportunity to play and doing it in the game. And once you do it in the game and, you start getting your legs under you and figuring out what this league's all about, that's when you really start, taking big leaps to becoming who you can become. And like I said, he's going to be a good player.
Have you taken him under your wing? Is that more so a natural, organic thing if it just kind of happens? So you guys are in the same room, I imagine, and you mentioned some of the similarities between you guys. Have you taken him under your wing personally, or just giving him some tips and tricks whenever that opportunity presents itself?
Yeah, I mean, our whole entire room is close. I think that's one of the coolest parts about this, being in New York for me, is like CJ, Jeremy, Kenny, Coach Mid, Smash. There's just so many people in that room that are just great football minds, and we all kind of talk to each other about all types of stuff. How would you have ran this route? What would you have done in this situation? With this combination to him, or whatever it is. We all kind of bounce ideas off each other and ask each other what we could have did or what they would have did. And I think it's we got a special room when it comes to just the talent we have in there, and then how well the chemistry we have as a group.
What do you make of Zach Kuntz? I mean, this guy's a freak. I mean, he had that crazy. You talk about the the spider tracking with the crazy athleticism he had coming out. He just gets thrown into the room as well. He seems like he has unbelievable potential. What's been your early impressions of that young man?
He's big kid, big kid. Yeah, that's obviously he's super athletic, as we all saw at the combine. He's a good dude. Mm-hmm. We've only been together for 3 weeks, so it's hard to see too much, but he definitely has the potential to be good, being 6'7", a little taller than 6'7", whatever he is. He has a frame to do whatever he wanted to do. He's huge, runs really well. I'm excited for him, especially with Coach Mid. Coach Mid is such a good tight end coach. He really does a good job of, getting the best out of players. So any kind of rookie or young guy that comes into our room, I think, has the opportunity to be good, with who they're surrounded with from a coaching standpoint.
I just have to say, if Hard Knocks comes, it feels like Coach Mid is going to be like the superstar. A couple years,
he'll be a star.
There was the Browns guy going hut, and he was the crazy guy. And I feel like Middleton is that's the real reason I want Hard Knocks, is so it could shine a proper spotlight on Coach Mid. I just feel like he'd be one of those superstars that would take off on Hard Knocks.
Oh, he'll definitely take off on Hard Knocks. I didn't really think about it like that, but I don't know if we want all that attention in the tight end room. We like to stay to ourselves, you know. But Coach Mitt would definitely be a superstar. He just has so many one-liners. Obviously, playing in the league for as long as he did, and now coaching, he would definitely be a star.
Is he exactly what we see? Because we, again, only the fans, obviously, it's not like Coach Mitt is doing interviews like every week or anything, so we're only getting spurts. But these, like, are you guys ready for some football? He has, like, all these and the heaven die one that he said at the Senior Bowl, we all want to go to heaven.
He has a ton of, he has unlimited one-liners. I think Jeremy Ruckert has, like, a little, in his notebook, he has, like, a list of all the one-liners just so he can remember.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So he is like that, though. That's real. That's not just spurty things. Okay.
No, he's like that all the time. I mean, like, that's another person that loves football, and the one-liners, the love for football, like playing in the era he played in and whatnot. Like he's probably who you think he is.
All right. And speaking of coaching, so obviously you guys go from Mike LaFleur to Nathaniel Hackett. I know it's only been a limited amount of time. What's been the biggest difference so far between the two guys? Because they're just so different. One's super young and inexperienced. The other one's been around forever.
Yeah, not even just a difference. I mean, I just speak on Hackett. I'm not going to sit here and compare people, but Coach Hackett's he's been awesome. He's super, super smart, but like the way he does, like he's just so outgoing, funny. He creates a relationship with you and everybody he's around. He keeps it light. He does it. He's a great teacher. I think that's like the number one thing is he's a great teacher. Like, and he wants to be good at teaching. He learns how do I get, what's the best way for me to, get these guys to understand this concept or, things like that. So I think how much he cares about teaching, how much he cares about his players. I've loved it so far in the short amount of time we've been together.
All right, Tyler, last one before we get you out of here. And I think we've established this. We are best buds. We're best friends. We're best pals.
We can talk all day.
That's what I'm talking about. And I just have to say, I noticed on Good Morning Football, you made the tattoo guarantee on the program. And it's going viral, baby. It's going crazy about if and when, if you guys missed it, that if the Jets end up winning the Super Bowl, you'll slap a Lombardi somewhere on that body. It'll probably be harder to find the place on the body to put it. But that's
the only thing I've been thinking about since I made that promise. Because for me, my word is my word. So now it's a promise. I got to do it. We win the Super Bowl. It's getting tatted on Good Morning Football.
And I just have to say,
I got to figure out where.
Yeah. And way to be on brand, though. Like in the moment, because obviously it's not like they, at least I don't know, they probably don't tell you the questions in advance. So like when that question comes up, you just say, hey, you guys are paying for it, right? Of course. Yeah. You better make sure you put that money on NFL Network at Good Morning Football, baby. Yeah, and so that was smart. That was smart.
Well, I figured if they said no, then they gave me a way out. But if I win a Super Bowl, it's getting tatted anyway. So why not put it on Good Morning Football?
100%. So my question is, you put this guarantee on Good Morning Football. You're on this program, your favorite show you've ever done in your life, obviously. Can you throw some Jets guarantee, something on here? Pull out your Joe Willie Namath and give us some sort of Jets guarantee for something. Like, just throw that out there.
What kind of guarantee do we want here?
I'm wide open, baby. The world is your oyster. This is your canvas. Paint me, baby. I don't know.
We can't get two tattoos, so two Lombardis.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll have to think about it. And next time we're on, we'll have some type of guarantee. But we can do something.
I appreciate that. Well, Tyler, it's always a blessing. You're incredibly busy, and obviously this offseason may be the busiest offseason of your life. And for you to carve out time whenever it is means the world to me, Tyler. So really appreciate it, man. And thank you. We'll be checking in soon.
I appreciate you, man. Thanks for having me.
Well, there he is, Tyler Conklin. Good luck this season, buddy. And guys, make sure you follow him on social media as well.